Most people watching this video probably drank this week, and none of them think this video applies to them. Alcohol is the only drug where people think you have the problem if you don't use it. There are 4 things alcohol is doing to you right now, and this isn't a lecture. This is information someone should have given you years ago.
Let's start with the thing you can see in the mirror but have probably been ignoring. Your face. Alcohol dehydrates you from the inside out. And your skin is the first thing to show it. Every single time you drink, your body pulls water away from your skin to try and process the toxin you just poured into it. What's left behind is dry, dull, tired-looking skin that no moisturizer on earth can fix, because the damage isn't happening on the surface. It's happening underneath. But it doesn't stop at dehydration. Alcohol triggers inflammation throughout your entire body, and your face wears that inflammation like a mask. Puffiness under the eyes. A swollen, rounded jawline that wasn't there a few years ago. Redness across your cheeks and nose from tiny blood vessels that have burst beneath your skin, broken capillaries that don't heal, they just accumulate. One by one. Week by week. Drink by drink. And then come the wrinkles. Not the kind you earn from laughing too much or spending too many summers in the sun. These are premature wrinkles. Deep ones. The kind that make people guess you're age 10, sometimes 15 years higher than it actually is. Because here's what most people don't know, alcohol literally shortens your telomeres. Those are the protective caps on your DNA that determine how fast your cells age. Every drink chips away at them. You're not just feeling older. Your body is aging faster at a cellular level. There's actually a term for it. It's called alcoholic face. That bloated, red, puffy look that develops so gradually, so slowly, that you never see it happening in real time. You look in the mirror every single day, so you adjust. You normalize it. You think, I just look tired. You think, I've just been stressed. You don't connect it to the glass in your hand. But here's what's wild. People who quit drinking for even 30 days, just 30 days, go back and look at old photos of themselves and are genuinely shocked. They don't recognize their own face. They had no idea how swollen, how aged, how dull they looked, because they had nothing to compare it to. Think about the last photo someone took of you. Now think about a photo from 5 years ago. Notice anything? And it's not just your face. It's your body. That stubborn belly fat that won't go away no matter how many times you hit the gym. Alcohol. That soft, skinny fat look where you're not overweight but you've lost all your muscle definition. Alcohol. It spikes your cortisol, stores fat around your midsection, and suppresses the hormones your body needs to build and maintain muscle. You're working against yourself every single weekend. And here's the cruel part. It happens so slowly. Day by day. Week by week. Glass by glass. You never get a warning. You never get a moment where your body says, hey, look what's happening to you. You just wake up one morning, catch your reflection somewhere, a window, a photo someone posts without a filter, and for a split second, you don't recognize the person looking back at you. But I need you to hear me on this. What alcohol does to your appearance? That's not even close to the worst thing on this list. If you're learning something new right now, go ahead and subscribe, because this conversation is just getting started. What alcohol is doing to your face is obvious once you know where to look. But what it's doing inside your brain, that's where it gets sinister. Let me explain this in the simplest way possible. Every time you take a drink, alcohol floods your brain with dopamine, the chemical that makes you feel good. That warm, loose, everything is fine feeling? That's an artificial spike of happiness your brain didn't earn. And your brain knows it. So it fights back. It says, that was way too much dopamine, and it turns down your natural ability to produce it on its own. Like turning down the volume on a speaker that's playing too loud. The problem? That volume doesn't come back up on its own. Not fully. Not quickly. So your baseline, your default, everyday level of happiness, drops. Just a little at first. Barely noticeable. But over weeks, months, years of drinking, that baseline keeps sinking lower and lower. And now you're trapped. Because without alcohol, you don't feel happy. You don't even feel normal. You feel flat. Slightly anxious. A little empty. Like something is missing but you can't name what it is. So what do? You drink again. And it works, for a few hours. But your brain turns the volume down even further. And the cycle continues. This is the trap nobody warned you about. You start to notice things. Your favorite meal doesn't taste the way it used to. A song you used to love comes on and you feel nothing. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, sun coming through the window, no responsibilities, and you feel just fine. Not sad. Not happy. Just fine. Just existing. And you can't figure out why life feels so gray when nothing is actually wrong. And here's the part that should really make you uncomfortable. This doesn't just apply to heavy drinkers. If you only drink on Friday and Saturday, just the weekends, nothing crazy, your brain spends Monday through Thursday in a mild neurochemical deficit. That's sluggish, joyless, just get through the week feeling you hit around Wednesday. You've been blaming your job. You've been blaming the weather. You've been blaming burnout. But that feeling? That's withdrawal. You just never recognized it as withdrawal because nobody told you that's what it was. When was the last time you felt genuinely, deeply happy without any substance involved? Really think about that. If you can't remember, that's not a personality trait. That's a side effect. So it changed how you look, and now it's changed how you feel, and you didn't choose either one. But the third thing alcohol does to you? That one hurts in a completely different way. And if this video is already starting to shift how you see things, subscribe now, because what's coming next needs to be heard. This is the one most people will fight me on. Because we've been told our entire lives that alcohol brings people together. It's at every birthday, every wedding, every celebration, every Friday night. It's the thing we pass around when we want to bond. And I need you to hear this, alcohol is one of the loneliest drugs on the planet. Now before you push back, let me explain. Yes, when you drink, you talk more. You laugh more. You feel looser, more open, more connected to the people around you, in the moment. But here's what nobody tells you. Those connections are shallow. And here's why. Alcohol doesn't create vulnerability. It creates performance. You think you're being your real self, this fun, confident, open version of you, but you're not. You're being a chemically altered version of yourself who won't remember half the conversation by tomorrow morning. And neither will the person you were talking to. That's not connection. That's theater. And slowly, without you even realizing it, something starts to shift. Your tolerance for sober socializing drops. Grabbing coffee with someone feels stiff. Awkward. A dinner without wine on the table feels incomplete, like something is missing. You start scanning menus for the drink section before you even look at the food. And then, quietly, you start avoiding situations where you can't drink. You say no to the morning hike. You skip the sober brunch. You turn down plans that don't revolve around a bar, a bottle, or a night out, not because you don't like those people, but because you don't know who you are around them without a drink in your hand. And your circle starts to shrink. Not overnight. But slowly, the only people left around you are the ones who drink like you do. Because they're the only ones who don't make you feel self-conscious. They never question how much you're pouring. They never give you that look. They match you glass for glass, and that feels like acceptance. But it's not friendship. It's shared habit. And here's the part that's going to sting. You can be sitting at a table surrounded by 10 people. 3 drinks in. Everyone's laughing. Music's playing. The night looks perfect from the outside. And underneath all of it, there's this quiet, hollow feeling you can't explain. This low hum of emptiness that doesn't match the scene. Everyone's right there, right next to you, and somehow you still feel alone. Because real connection requires presence, actually being there, in your body, in your mind, in the moment, and alcohol pulls you out of all three. Think about your 5 closest friends. How many of those friendships exist without alcohol? If alcohol disappeared tomorrow, would you still hang out the same way? Would you even know what to do together? And it bleeds into everything. The conversations with your partner that you can't remember the next morning. The plans you cancel because you're too hungover to move. The emotional availability that drops to 0 because you gave everything you had to the bottle the night before. The people who slowly stop calling, not because they don't care, but because they got tired of the version of you that alcohol created. It promised you connection and gave you isolation. It promised you confidence and gave you dependence. And that brings us to the 4th thing. The one I told you about at the beginning. The one I said should genuinely scare you. I meant it. But before we get there, if this video is hitting different right now, hit that subscribe button, because what comes next is something you will not forget. The first 3 things are painful. I know that. But here's what I need you to understand. You can reverse them. You can heal your skin. You can rebalance your brain chemistry. You can rebuild relationships. Give it time, give it effort, and those things can come back. But this 4th one? This one you don't get back. Alcohol will steal the person you were supposed to become. Not the person you are right now. The person you were supposed to be. The version of you that exists somewhere in a parallel life, a ghost life, where you never handed the wheel over to a substance. That version of you woke up on Saturday mornings with a clear head and built something. That version of you had an idea at 1 in the morning and actually wrote it down, actually followed through, actually turned it into something real, instead of drowning it in one more glass and forgetting it ever existed by sunrise. Think about every morning you lost to a hangover. Not just the headache, not just the nausea, the time. The hours. The energy. What could those mornings have been? A business you started. A book you wrote. A skill you learned. A conversation that changed your life. Gone. Not because something tragic happened. But because you were lying on a couch with the curtains closed, waiting for your body to recover from something you did to yourself on purpose. And here's what makes this one so dangerous. Alcohol doesn't kill your dreams overnight. That would be too obvious. You'd fight back. Instead, it does something far worse. It makes you okay with not pursuing them. It replaces ambition with comfort. It takes that fire in your chest, that restless feeling that says you're meant for more than this, and it quiets it down. Slowly. Gently. Until one day you stop asking what could I build, and start saying this is fine. And you genuinely believe it. That's not peace. That's surrender. And you don't even know it happened. Let me walk you through the math that nobody does. Say you start drinking regularly at 22. Nothing crazy, just weekends, social stuff, the way everyone does it. And you keep going until you're 40. That's 18 years. 18 years of diminished cognitive performance. 18 years of reduced energy. 18 years of lower motivation, impaired decision-making, dulled creativity, and foggy mornings. Not in the dramatic, rock-bottom, made-for-TV way. In the quiet, invisible, I just never got around to it way. 18 years of almost. 18 years of I'll start next month. And here's the most painful part of all. You will never know who you would have been. That person, the one with the full energy, the sharp mind, the relentless drive, the clear eyes, you will never meet them. They don't exist. They were never given the chance to. And that's the thing about stolen potential. You can't miss what you never saw. You can't grieve a life you never lived. It just isn't there. And you feel it as this quiet ache, this background hum that something is missing, but you can never name it because you never knew what it was in the first place. If you're watching this and feeling uncomfortable right now, that discomfort is important. Don't scroll away from it. Sit with it. Because alcohol doesn't ruin your life the way movies show it. It doesn't end in a car wreck. It doesn't end in a hospital bed. It doesn't end with someone staging an intervention in your living room. For most people, it ends in something much worse, a quiet, comfortable, mediocre existence where you always feel like something is missing but you can never quite figure out what it is. And you go your whole life never figuring it out. That is the fourth thing. And that is the one you can't undo. This video wasn't made to shame you. It wasn't made to make you feel broken or hopeless or like you've already lost. It was made to show you what nobody else will say out loud. Because the people around you won't say it. The culture won't say it. The bartender won't say it. The brands spending billions to make drinking look like freedom and fun, they will never say it. So I'm saying it. And here's the good news, because there is good news. Your brain can heal. Neuroplasticity is real. Your dopamine system can recalibrate. Your skin can recover. Your body can rebuild. Your relationships, the real ones, the ones that matter, they're still there, waiting for the version of you that shows up fully. And your potential? It's not gone. It's buried. There's a difference. It's underneath the fog, underneath the habits, underneath the years of "I'll deal with it later." But it's there. It starts with one decision. Not a dramatic one. Not a public declaration. Just a quiet, honest moment with yourself where you stop asking what alcohol gives you and start asking what it's costing you. And you answer truthfully. The person you were supposed to become is still in there. Still waiting. The only question is, are you going to keep them waiting? If this video made you think, really think, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Not everyone. Just one person you know who's ready. And if you want more content like this, subscribe, because this is the kind of truth that doesn't get said enough and we're just getting started. Now drop a comment below. I want to know, what is one thing you would pursue if you had 100% of your energy and clarity every single day? I'll be reading every single one.